Let's talk about cyber kill chain. In this video, we are going to talk about understanding the cyber kill chain, what is cyber kill chain, reconnaissance, weaponization, delivery, exploitation, installation, command and control, actions on objectives, and a quick summary on whatever we discussed earlier. The cyber kill chain is a framework developed by Lockheed Martin that provides a step by step process for understanding preventing cyber attacks. In this presentation, we will go through each stage of the cyber kill chain and explain how it can help you protect your organization from cyber threats. Reconnaissance is where attackers gather information about the target, such as email address, phone numbers, and social media profiles. They use this information to craft targeted attacks, such as phishing email, social engineering scams, and malware distribution. Weaponization is where attackers create the weapon or payload that they will use to deliver the attack, such as a virus, Trojan, or ransomware. The weapon is usually disguised as a legitimate file or application to avoid detection. Delivery is where the weapon or payload is delivered to the target, usually via email, social media, or a compromised website. The attacker uses various techniques to bypass security controls and deliver the weapon to victim's device. Exploitation is where weapon or payload is executed on the victim's device, exploiting a vulnerability in the software or operating system. The attacker gains a foothold on the device and can use it to move laterally within the network and access sensitive data. Installation, command and control, and actions on objectives. These stages involve the attacker installing additional malware on the victim's device, establishing command and control over the device, taking action to achieve their objectives, such as stealing data, disruption operations, or demanding ransom. Imagine you work for a large financial institution and one day you receive an email that appears to be from a trusted vendor. The email contains a link to a file that the vendor claims is an invoice for services rendered. You click on the link and the file downloads onto your computer. This seemingly innocuous action has just triggered the cyber kill chain. The first stage of the cyber kill chain is reconnaissance. In this case, the attacker conducted reconnaissance by gathering information about your organization and its vendor in order to craft a targeted attack. The second stage is weaponization. The attacker created a weapon, which in this case is a piece of malware disguised in an invoice file. The third stage is delivery. The attacker delivered the weapon to you via email using social engineering techniques to trick you into clicking on the link and downloading the file. The fourth stage is exploitation. The malware was executed on your computer, exploiting a vulnerability in the operating system or software. The attacker now has a foothold on your device and can use it to move laterally within the network and access sensitive data. The final stages, that is installation, command and control, and action on objective, where the attacker may install additional malware on the computer, establish command and control over the device, and take action to achieve their objectives, such as stealing data or disrupting operations. Now, imagine a scenario where you work for a large healthcare organization and you receive an email that appears to be from a reputable medical supplier. The email contains a link to a file that the supplier claims is an update to their software. Do you click on the link? Let's take you click on the link and the file downloads onto your computer. However, your organization has implemented security measures to mitigate the cyber kill chain. Let us see what exactly these mitigation measures are. Before we get into the details of the stages, let us talk about the cyber kill chain framework. So, cyber kill chain is a framework that describes the stages of a typical cyber attack, from the initial reconnaissance to the final objective achieved by the attacker. A breakdown of these stages for easy understanding is Reconnaissance. This stage involves the attacker gathering information about the target, such as identifying vulnerabilities, network topologies, and user behavior. The attacker may use a variety of techniques, including social engineering, phishing, and scanning tools to gather this information. Weaponization stage. Once the attacker has identified a vulnerability, they develop and package a weapon, such as a malware payload, to exploit the vulnerability. Delivery. The weapon is then delivered to the target system through various channels such as email attachments, malicious websites, or removable media. Exploitation. The weapon is executed on the target system, allowing the attacker to gain access and control of the system. Installation stage. The attacker installs a persistent presence on the target system, which allows them to maintain access even after the initial exploit. Command and control. The attacker establishes a communication channel between the compromised system and their own infrastructure, allowing them to remotely control the system and carry out further actions. Action on objective. This is the final stage where the attacker achieves their goal, whether it's data theft, system disruption, or any other malicious activity. Understanding the cyber kill chain can help organizations develop effective cybersecurity strategy to prevent or mitigate cyber attacks. By identifying vulnerabilities at each stage and implementing appropriate defenses, organizations can significantly reduce the risk of a successful attack. Let us talk about reconnaissance stage mitigations. A large financial institution is targeted by a group of hackers who have been carrying out reconnaissance activities to gather information about the organization's network and systems. The hackers have been using various techniques, including social engineering, open source intelligence gathering, and network scanning to identify potential vulnerabilities. Mitigation steps. Increase employee awareness. The first step in mitigating reconnaissance is to train your employees to be vigilant and to recognize potential attacks. The organization should conduct regular security awareness training that covers topics such as social engineering, phishing, and other tactics used by hackers. Implement access controls. Implementing access control can limit the amount of information that can be accessed by unauthorized users. This can include implementing a least privilege model where employees are only given access to the information they need to perform their job duties with. Implement network segmentation. Network segmentation can help to limit the impact of a breach. By dividing the network into smaller segments, it becomes more difficult for an attacker to move laterally and access sensitive information. Implement intrusion detection and prevention. Intrusion detection and prevention systems can be used to identify and block reconnaissance activity. These systems can detect and alert on suspicious activities such as port scanning, network mapping, and other reconnaissance techniques. Conduct regular vulnerability assessments. Regular assessments can identify potential vulnerabilities before they are exploited by attackers. These assessments can be used to identify weaknesses in the network, applications, and systems to prioritize remediation efforts. Monitor network activity. Monitoring the activity in the network can help to identify anomalous behavior that could indicate a reconnaissance activity. This can include monitoring network traffic, log files, and other activity that could be used to detect potential attacks. Second stage, weaponization. How to mitigate this stage? Weaponization is the stage in the cyber kill chain where the attacker creates a payload, such as malware or a virus, and packages it in a way that will allow it to successfully exploit the targeted system. Mitigating weaponization is an essential part of any comprehensive cybersecurity strategy. How to mitigate weaponization? Prevention. One of the best way to mitigate weaponization is to prevent attackers from gaining access to your system in the first place. This can be achieved through the use of strong access controls such as firewalls and IDS or intrusion detection systems. Email filtering. Email is a common vector for weaponization attacks. Implementing email filtering tools that can detect and block malicious attachments and links can prevent an attacker from successfully weaponizing their payload. User education or training the users. Educating the users on safe mail and browsing habits can go a long way in mitigating weaponization. Teach users not to open suspicious emails or click on unknown links, and to report any suspicious activity to IT immediately. Software update. Keeping software up to date can prevent attackers from exploiting known vulnerabilities in the software to weaponize their payloads. Regularly patching and updating software can help ensure that your systems are protected. Sandboxing. Sandboxing is a technique that involves running potentially dangerous code in a safe, isolated environment. This can be used to test suspected malware and other payloads without risking infection of the primary system. The delivery phase of the cyber kill chain refers to the process of delivering a malicious payload to the target system. How do we mitigate the delivery phase of the cyber kill chain? Email filtering. Many cyber attacks begin with the phishing email, which contains links or attachment that, when clicked, delivers malicious payload to the target system. Implementing email filtering tools that can detect and block suspicious emails can prevent delivery of the payload. Endpoint security. These kind of solutions, such as antivirus, anti-malware software, XDR, EDR, can detect and block malicious payloads that are delivered via email or other means. Network segmentation. Segmenting your network can help contain the impact of a cyber attack. By separating critical systems and limiting access between them, you can prevent the spread of the payload if it does manage to breach your defenses. DNS filtering can prevent attackers from using domains known to be associated with malware delivery, blocking access to these domains before the payload can be delivered. Educating the users, as always, on safe email and browsing habits can help prevent the delivery of a malicious payload. Teach the users not to open suspicious emails or click on unknown links, and to report any suspicious activity to IT immediately. The exploitation phase of the cyber kill chain refers to the process of exploiting a vulnerability in the target system to gain access and control. So, what are the different mitigation strategies which we can put here? Patching and updating. Keeping the software up to date can prevent attackers from exploiting known vulnerabilities in the software to gain access. Regularly patching and updating software can help ensure that your system are protected. Vulnerability scanning. Conducting quarterly, monthly, yearly, different scanning strategies can help identify potential weaknesses in your system before they are exploited. This can help you prioritize which vulnerabilities to patch first. Access controls. Implementing strong access controls such as firewalls and intrusion detection systems can prevent attackers from gaining access to your system in the first place. This can make it more difficult to them to successfully exploit any of vulnerabilities. Segmenting your network can help contain the impact of a cyber attack. By separating critical systems and limiting access between them, you can prevent an attacker from moving laterally across the network after exploiting a vulnerability. And as always, educating users on safe mail and browsing habits can help prevent exploitation. Teach the users not to click on suspicious links or download unknown files, and to report any suspicious activities to IT immediately. The installation phase of the cyber kill chain refers to the process of installing a malicious payload onto the targeted system. How do we mitigate this phase? Endpoint security solutions such as antivirus and anti-malware software can detect and block malicious payloads that are installed on the target system. Educating users on safe mail and browsing habits can help prevent an installation of a malicious payload. Teach users not to download unknown files or open suspicious attachments, and to report any suspicious activity to IT immediately. Implementing a whitelist of approved applications and software can prevent the installation of unauthorized programs and payloads. Segmenting your network can help contain the impact of a cyber attack. By separating critical systems and limited access between them, you can prevent the spread of the payload if it does manage to install on your system. And finally, sandboxing is a technique that involves running potential dangerous code in a safe, isolated environment. This can be used to test suspected malware and other payloads without risking infection of the primary system. The command and control phase of the cyber kill chain refers to the process of establishing a communication channel between the attacker and the compromised system. How to mitigate this phase? Network monitoring. Network traffic monitoring for unusual activity can help detect the presence of a command and control channel. This can allow security teams to block the channel between the attacker and which is able to carry out further actions. Access control. Implementing strong access controls such as firewalls and IDS can prevent attackers from gaining access to your system in the first place. This can make it more difficult for them to establish a command and control channel. Educate the users on safe mail and browsing habits, which can help prevent the to establish of a command and control channel. Teach users not to click on suspicious links or download unknown files, and to report any suspicious activity to IT immediately. DNS filtering can prevent attackers from using domains known to be associated with command and control channels, blocking access to these domains before the channel can be established. Behavioral analysis involves monitoring user and system behavior for signs of suspicious activity. By analyzing the behavior of both users and systems, security teams can detect the presence of a command and control channel and take action to block it. The action on objective phase of the cyber kill chain refers to the final stage where the attacker achieves their goal, whether it's data theft, system disruption, or any other malicious activity. How to mitigate this step? Backup and recovery. Regularly backing up critical data and having a comprehensive disaster recovery plan in place can help you quickly restore your system to its pre attack state. This can minimize the damage caused by an attacker who manages to reach the action on objective phase. Access controls. Implementing strong access controls such as firewalls and intrusion detection systems can prevent attackers from gaining access to your system in the first place. This can make it more difficult for them to achieve their objectives. Network segmentation. Segmenting your network can help contain the impact of a cyber attack. By separating critical systems and limiting access between them, you can prevent attackers from moving laterally across your network and achieving their objectives. Behavioral analysis. Behavioral analysis involves monitoring user and system behavior for signs of suspicious activity. By analyzing the behavior of both users and systems, security teams can detect the presence of an attacker who has reached the action on objective phase and take action to stop them. User education, as always, and the last one, educating users on safe mail and browsing habits can prevent attackers from reaching action on objective phase in the first place. Teach users not to click on suspicious links or download unknown files, and to report any suspicious activity to IT immediately. Now, to summarize, the implementation of the cyber kill chain involves identifying the different stages of the cyber attack, from initial reconnaissance to final objective achieved by the attacker, and implementing appropriate security measures to prevent or mitigate each stage. This involves a comprehensive approach to cybersecurity, including regular backups and disaster recovery plan, strong access controls such as firewall and IDS, network segmentations, behavioral analysis, user education, continually reviewing and updating security measures to stay ahead of evolving threats. By implementing these measures, organizations can significantly reduce the risk of a successful cyber attack and protect their critical systems and data, minimizing financial losses and prevent reputational damage. If you liked the video, please click on the like button and leave me a thumbs up. And also, please kindly subscribe to the channel. Thank you.